Read by Carlos Oswita. Allow me to use CBS News to illustrate exactly why the Democrats and the press, sorry for repeating myself, can't defeat President Trump. This is from election night of 2016, and this is why Trump will always win. From YouTube, the moment CBS News realizes Donald Trump will win the presidency, link in the thread. The Democrats and the press created a fake Trump and then were shocked that this non-existent man got elected. They refused to grasp that the voters elected the real Trump. And they've done that again in 2020, but to a much more extreme and much more demented level. The fake Trump in 2020 is a Kremlin asset, a dictator, a mass murderer, a psychotic suffering from delusions, a complete idiot, a brain-damaged dotard, and yet again, a rapist. From The Guardian, Donald Trump accused of sexual assault by former model Amy Doris. Trump is a notorious germaphobe. Some of us have dated germaphobes. They don't do the things this woman is claiming. They can't do them. Roseanne Barr will not shake hands, period. Trump has said multiple times that retraining himself to shake hands was one of the hardest things he'd ever done since he'd spent at least 4 decades not doing it. This is not a man who sexually assaults strangers. I'll quote Alyssa Milano about Joe Biden. Quote from Alyssa Milano: "We should believe women, but not at the expense of giving men their due process. It's got to be fair in both directions. I don't feel comfortable throwing away a man in his time of complete chaos without there being a thorough investigation." End quote. Bravo, Alyssa. I agree 100%. Until there's a thorough investigation, we can continue supporting the man we support. Model lady, go out and get yourself a thorough investigation, and then I'll listen to you. Like Alyssa says, and she's an expert, you know. The broader point is that the Democrats and the press create a fake person and then say that if we support the real person, that makes us fascist, stupid, racist. Everything they say about the fake person. They've created fake Trump supporters too. That's not a winning formula. Trump just solved another issue that plagued government blockheads for 70 years. From YouTube, President Trump remarks on the repatriation of Native American Native American solutions. The number of people who continue to believe in the existence of the fake Trump gets smaller and smaller and smaller. I told you this a long time ago. One of Trump's many strategies was to create a reverse honeymoon. He started out at a low approval rating and kept it there deliberately. People tell me that he finally changed. No, he stayed exactly the same, and he gained support by letting the Democrats and the press implode. All Trump did was deliver. He's made it absolutely clear that his only concern is us. The press is so insane that it's angry at the White House normalization ceremony between Israel, the UAE, and Bahrain. Why? Not enough social distancing. The press calls a federalist president a fascist. It says that Democrat brown shirts are peaceful protesters. Watch YouTube videos by gigantically popular creators. Now they demonstrate their peaceful machine guns. After they blow up a junker car, they say that luckily it was a peaceful explosion. The former Special Operations combat veterans who Biden says Trump hates now refer to themselves as peaceful participants in peaceful firefights. And the White House press corps. Dear White House Correspondents Association, I now mute your toxic psychos and listen only to Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany's answers and Trump's answers. If you had any idea the damage these people are doing to you, they would have had their credentials yanked today. Nobody sane likes harpies, harridans, fishwives. Their poison makes it impossible to listen to them. So I don't. I mute them. Only McEnany and Trump's words matter. We're in electoral Groundhog Day. Only this is the senile, homeless, raving, mental patient version. From Frederick Engels to Karl Marx in a letter dated December 3rd, 1851. It really seems as though old Hegel, in the guise of the world spirit, were directing history from the grave and with the greatest conscientiousness, causing everything to be reenacted twice over, once as grand tragedy and the second time as rotten farce. Engels was referring to International Fun Boy and Life of the Party Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. I'll end with a story that you should keep in mind as we navigate these demented waters. Jean-François de Mosay was a French airline pilot before World War II. He crashed in 1938, was declared 100% disabled, and lost his pilot's license. When the British Royal Air Force came to France to protect France against the German invasion, de Mosay volunteered to be an interpreter. The Germans invaded on May 10, 1940, using a new form of combined arms warfare called Blitzkrieg, lightning war. The French were rapidly defeated. The British Royal Air Force evacuated, leaving behind aircraft too damaged to fly. De Mosay went to an airfield and found a Bristol-Bombay troop transport with no tailwheel. Taking off would be almost impossible because the tail would be shimmying all over the place. De Mosay went to a group of British soldiers and said, "I am going to fly this crate to Britain. I haven't flown in 2 years, I've never flown a Bombay, and this one has no tailwheel. I don't expect to survive. Anyone want to come?" All 15 soldiers went with him. He got in the Bombay and made a harrowing takeoff. The sky was full of German fighters, and the Bombay had about as much power as a Volkswagen Beetle. De Mosay had been a civilian pilot with zero combat experience. He set up a grapevine of men from the rear turret to the cockpit to him when a German was coming in. Then he slowed down the Bombay to a near stall, making it impossible for the Germans to stay on his tail. Finally, the Germans gave up. De Mosay made it to Britain and landed safely. He told the British that he was a French fighter pilot, but darn it, his records were still in France. They believed him and accepted him into the Royal Air Force. After a stint in fighter school, he went on to shoot down 18 enemy aircraft, making him a triple ace +3. After the liberation of France, he organized a fighter school and was eventually made deputy commander of the French fighter school wing. Although de Mosay died in a flying accident on December 19, 1945, he lived long enough to see the Allies win World War II. And his amazing story lives on. Be a happy warrior like Jean-François de Mosay. We will win on November 3rd, guaranteed. And remember,